Hey everyone, welcome in here to the post-game walk and talk. I'm Cole from GoPowercat.com. Kansas State drops the game 71-64 to the Texas Longhorns in the semifinals of the Phillips 66 Big 12 Women's Basketball Championships. Kansas State does not play for the final against Iowa State, who just so happened to absolutely demolish Oklahoma in the first semifinal game. I'm outside of the T-Mobile Center. I've got Kansas City in the background. You can see Power and Light, as I hopefully don't get you motion sickness, is over there. The party is going to be going on for the Texas faithful, but not so much for Kansas State. Like I said, they dropped this one 71-64. It was a tough game for the women's team. Iowa Lee had 18 points in the first half, but she was held to only 7 points in the second half. Texas did a great job defensively of neutralizing her in the second half, but not so much in the first half. She still got our player of the game honors, but it really, for Kansas State, was tough sledding. Texas was shooting the ball incredibly well in the very beginning part of the game, especially in the first quarter. Texas was absolutely on fire. They shot over 50% at halftime, and it looked like Texas might run away with this one, but it was Kansas State's resiliency. Jeff Mittie talked about after the game, they switched to a zone, and we've seen K-State have success switching to a zone, but once they switched to that zone defense, it really seemed to stifle the Texas offense. This is a Texas team that, by all accounts, assuming they win tomorrow against Iowa State, which they will be favored, they are going to be a #1 seed. And to me, I don't really want to focus on the game that much. Does it suck that Kansas State lost? I mean, for the Wildcats, of course, they wanted to win this game. They wanted to have a chance at Iowa State again, potentially beat them to win the Big 12 championship. First of all, the atmosphere, once again, just absolutely tremendous. Vic Schaefer, he might not be the most likable coach in the Big 12, but he talked after the game about how amazing this environment was at T-Mobile Center and how good the conference was, kind of felt ironic coming from a Texas coach who is leaving the league. He said, I was born and raised in the SEC, and this was an amazing environment. Like, okay, buddy, you're going to go back to the SEC, and I don't think anybody's too sad to see Texas leave this conference, but man, it was a great atmosphere. K-State fans brought the energy. It's very disappointing that we don't get a Kansas State and Iowa State Big 12 championship, because I have a feeling if that would have been the case, this place might have been 85 to 90% full. Nonetheless, Kansas State drops the game to Texas, and now the question becomes, will they host? If you're unfamiliar, in the women's game in the NCAA Tournament, the top 16 seeds get to play at their home gym. Kansas State, at one point in the season, was up to #2 in the country. It looked like they were going to be one of those teams that was shoo-in. Then Iowa Lee got hurt, and they lost 3 of 5, and there were some trying times around Manhattan. Kansas State came into this game ranked 16th. According to ESPN bracketology and a lot of other bracketologies, K-State was a 5 seed. Now, how with a loss will this game change? Well, that's a great question. It's partly because one of the teams that was projected ahead of them, Oklahoma, the regular season Big 12 champs, they were a 4 seed. And they got absolutely demolished this evening against Iowa State. And I am not one to sit here and say one loss should be the difference between hosting and not hosting. But if you watch K-State with Iowa Lee and you watch Oklahoma play, there shouldn't be a question as the wind starts to take my hair. I promise it's not a toupee. K-State's better than Oklahoma. K-State's better than a lot of teams that are projected to host. Look, will they be a 4 seed and maybe have to go on to play South Carolina? That's possible, but I still think this K-State team has played well enough to deserve that top 16 seed line, and the future of this program is in really, really good hands. Iowa Lee still has a chance to come back for another season if she wants. She's already one of the most dominant players in all of college basketball. When Caitlin Clark leaves Iowa, you can make an argument next season if Iowa Lee does return, she is the best player in the women's game. Obviously, we'll find out what she decides to do. I felt like this is the best team that K-State's had to win a national championship in any sport since 1998 at one point this season. And I'm not sure I feel that same way. I mean, there's some obvious flaws on this team. They turn the ball over a lot. They go really cold from the three-point line, and sometimes the offense can be a little stagnant. But when this team plays well like they did in the second half, they can beat anyone. And this Texas team has a chance to win a national championship. Make no mistake about it. This is a Texas team that does not have any bad losses. I guess if you say Oklahoma, but that's a team who won the Big 12. So this Texas team is legit. K-State is legit. If they do not host, I will be very surprised. But we'll just have to see what the committee does. If anybody from the committee was here today, they would see how good K-State can be when they play. If there is an NCAA tournament game, maybe 2 NCAA tournament games in Manhattan, man, you got to like K-State's chances to get to the Sweet 16. But even if they don't, I think this Kansas State team can beat anyone that they play. The women's game is growing tremendously. It's been a great time. I was excited to get the chance to cover this event. Not going to get a chance to cover the championship game, but quite the run for Kansas State. You knew that this was going to be a tough game, and they fell just short. Nonetheless, K-State, the valiant effort. They dropped the game to Texas. They're eliminated from the Big 12 championships here in Kansas City. Overall, very good weekend for the Wildcats, and now they get set. Wait their fate 6 days from today. We'll find out. Will the game be in Manhattan? Will it not? Time will tell. I'm Cole. This has been the Walk and Talk. Thanks for watching. Have a great week.